Naomi Osemedua is a renowned coach, national transformation strategist, and global speaker who has been featured in high-impact events and spoken on stages across 4 continents. She is passionate about human capacity development and loves to speak with humor, using real-life stories to keep her audience captivated. She has also been listed as one of Nigeria's 100 most inspiring women 2020. She's fondly called the Sparkle Queen, as she sparkles her sparkle effects on everything she touches. As the CEO of the Center Stage Company, she is on a mission to help driven entrepreneurs turn their stories to profits and impact their world like only they can. Naomi, who is also a highly skilled global media strategist, uses her knowledge and expertise to coach personal and corporate brands on how to scale from being invisible to visible, not just in their local space, but particularly in the global community, helping them perform at peak level, leverage digital media platforms as they serve with purpose, and enjoy the freedom to be, do, and have all that they desire. With a vision to support the Sustainable Development Goal 5, achieve gender equality, and empower all women and girls, Naomi is the founder of the Women with Stories International, an organization on a mission to empower women to find and own their unequal stories, discover their cure, and serve others. She has been featured in many reputable magazines and platforms, including TED Global, The 700 Club, Guardian Women, Vanguard Allure, Today's Women, Channels Television, Dove TV, Yali Africa, and lots more.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Naomi, the Sparkle Queen.
Hello, Mary. How are you?
I'm very well. Good afternoon, Ma. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Hello. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for such a warm introduction. I'm so excited being here. I've been in the room. I listened a bit to Bidemi. I mean, just before she left, and I was really inspired by her session. Honestly, I am sure that everyone here has been having a good time. Very big thank you to Ella. I know she said you will be introducing me, but I'm sure she's listening. Thank you, Ella. Ella has been on my case for months. She's been on my case for months. As a matter of fact, I think since April, my flyer was ready. Like, she did not even want to hear that, I wasn't going to be available. So she booked ahead, and I'm so grateful. I only pray that I would meet the objectives and the desire for this wonderful organization. And of course, all the wonderful people that are listening in today, those who will catch the replay, it brings me nothing but great joy to really just share my heart when it comes to storytelling for impact. So if we're ready, let's do this. Please let me know you're ready in the chat box.
We are ready, Ma.
If you know me, I love to... Oh, I was supposed to upload my... Okay. I was going to upload... Let me upload my file. But I want to see ready in the chat box. I'm not seeing it. Let me know you're ready. I am not seeing it. While my slides are uploading in another 1 minute or less. Let me know you're ready. Okay, I see Ella. Who else is ready? Thank you, Ogbona Matthias, Ismail Rasaki. Thank you so much. Of all the things that you could be doing today, you are here. And I am so grateful. Yes, I see it. Let me know where you are joining me from. Ernest, thank you. Thank you so much. Let me know where you are in the world. In Nigeria, where are you? Let me know where you are in the world. It's such a pleasure to be here. Seems as though we have a troll here. Love Chat XYZ, best adult dating site. That looks like a troll account. Yes, it's been blocked. Oh my goodness. It's funny because many years ago, when I started live streaming on the Periscope app, a lot of people never showed up because they were scared of trolls. Like it was really bad because they could come on while you were live and they could use the N word, B word, F word, and everything else in between. And so a lot of people just couldn't stand that, But I'm so thankful that I chose to show up regardless. And I would like to start here because I didn't see that coming. But it's important for you to know that on your journey to making a difference in the world, there are people who will never get the picture. They will not understand, and they will try to stop you, and they will try to make you feel like, you're doing too much. And so I'm hoping that in our short time together, I will establish the fact that you are actually here to make a difference. You are actually here to be the change that we desire. There's so much going on around the world. There's so much going on around the country. The last few days in Abuja has been, so it's been heated. People have been afraid to go out. And the truth is, we have problems. And now more than ever, we need people who will be solution providers. And that's why I celebrate each and every one of you change makers today. However, you're making a difference, whether in the field of education, whether it's in poverty elevation, whether it's in helping young girls in local communities get to take care of their bodies, whatever it is you're doing. And you can go right ahead and let me know how you are bringing about a change in our world, wherever you are. Yes, I see someone is joining us from Cyprus. So go right ahead and let me know, how are you changing the world even as we begin? I'm going to run through, my goodness, I have so much to share. And I understand I've got 20 minutes. I don't even know how we're going to do it, but we will try our best. Okay. So let me know in the chat box how you are making a difference in the world. And I think I want to also let you know that even when you feel, is it working? Like, I'm doing all that I can, but there's still so much that is not okay in the world. Please understand there is something called a compound effect. And as you continue on the path of making a difference, as you continue on the path of, just being that change agent, you have no idea, that little girl, that little boy, that woman somewhere in that community that nobody gets to even see on the internet, you have no idea what they will become, in the near future. So keep doing good. I really, really celebrate each and every one of you. So telling stories in a digital world. And I think I'm going to zoom this out. Yeah. So you're trying to change the world for good. My first question is, why should we care? Like, really? And I don't mean to disrespect you, but for you to be able to tell your stories in our world today, this is what we want to know. This is what is important. Like, really, why should we care? You have to get us to care about what it is you're passionate about. When God called you, when you started this journey, we were not on that call. It wasn't a group call. It was a personal call, right? So this is your vision. This is your baby. This is how you're changing the world. But really, you have to get to that place of understanding that we cannot care until you are able to take us on that journey in such a way that we get to feel your heartbeat. Yes, you may have a vision that will change the world, but until you get us to care about that vision, it's likely you may be shortchanging yourself, or you may not be tapping into the fullness of support that you can get if you actually did this first. And this is where storytelling comes to play, because as nonprofit founders, you probably want us to do either of these three. Donate because you need money to fund all the big and beautiful visions that you have. Perhaps you want us to volunteer. You need us to be on the field with you. You need us to be on ground with you, or you want us to spread the word. Either way, if these three things are done, you will succeed. If you get donations, if you get access to funding, if you get volunteers, if you have people constantly spreading the word about what you're doing, I don't know if there's anything else that is missing. Everything else you're looking for to succeed is right here between these three. True or false? Please let me know in the chat box. So let's do a little bit of introduction about storytelling, because once upon a time never gets old. I love this American proverb. It says, "Tell me the facts and I will learn. Tell me the truth and I will believe, but tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever." Stories have been used to hand down learning and knowledge for thousands of years. A good story engages our curiosity, emotions, and our imagination. So it goes back to you getting us to actually see what you saw the day you were called, the day you were commissioned to make a difference in our world. Philip Pullman says, after nourishment, shelter, and companionship, stories are the thing we need most in the world. Isn't it amazing to know that you can have the power, or rather, you can leverage the power of storytelling to actually even take your work to the next level? Stories are a part of our daily lives. In the anecdotes we tell our friends, the books we read, the films we watch, it's all storytelling. It is one of the best ways to capture people's attention, bake information into our memories, and also, of course, forge close personal bonds, even with complete strangers. A good story can bring the world together. Those who tell stories rule the world. And I want you to put that in your journal. If you want to rule the world, if you want to dominate, and when I talk about ruling the world, I mean dominating your niche, dominating your industry. Whether you are even a traditional, business person, you can take the power of storytelling and you can apply it to your work, and you will still get the results. Stories have a transformative power to allow us see the world in a different way than we do if we just encounter it on our own. So storytelling is powerful in allowing us see what you see, in allowing us feel what you feel. Unless we can see it, unless we can feel it, unless we can connect with it, it becomes almost impossible for us to support your cause. And I know at the heart of every nonprofit founder is support. Support. You need money. I've been there. I've done that. And I am still there. And I remember many years ago deciding to even build a traditional business to the point where whatever project, whatever good I want to do in the world, I can fund it. And I'm glad to be on that journey right now. As a matter of fact, I do have organizations that I, at a regular basis, contribute towards, because I know what it takes to want to do something, to want to do good, and then you are short-changed because you don't have funds. Now, telling stories is one of the most powerful means that leaders have to influence, teach, and inspire. I remember when Mary was talking about, it's not enough to just take a picture and say, this was us in Makoko. I mean, what did you do there? What's the story? Who is the beautiful girl behind, the picture? Like, what's happening? You have to get us to connect with the heart of your work. Now, the nonprofits and social enterprises who can tell the most compelling stories are those who will command the most influence within their community. When crafted and used purposefully, please take note of the word. Keyword is purposefully. So it's not just enough to tell stories, there has to be purpose behind it. Storytelling can help build connection, confidence, and bring about change in our communities, nations, and our world. All right. So we'll do a quick practice. I probably just, Bidemi has been so kind. I probably would share this with Ella, just so that they can extract some of these things I want you to practice. Time will not allow us to practice this, but I will send this to Ella so she can extract these practice exercises. Like they're so important to help you just start this journey or improve on this journey if you are already leveraging the power of storytelling. So one of the exercises here is, what story has made a major difference in your life? And it could be a story you read in a book, one you heard from your parents or grandparents, one you witnessed, or one you simply just heard about. And I want you to think about the emotions that you felt, the impact you experienced, and imagine the tables flipping and your audience is on the other side experiencing all those feelings just because you shared your story. And I'm just going to take a moment to check the chat box and see what's happening here. All right. Thank you for putting it in there. Right. So Keep engaging. If you are getting value, please let me know. So let's look at what is the difference between a good story and a great story, because there are good stories and there are great stories. So first things first, a good story tells, a great story engages, a good story informs, a great story moves people. So I'm not just about you being good, I'm about you being a great storyteller. A good story changes how we think, a great story changes how we feel and what we do. It inspires action. So I just don't even want you to tell good stories. I want you to tell great stories. And being a great storyteller is about learning how to build connection and trust with your listeners or audience. Connection and trust. So every time you're putting out content, are you connecting with us? Are you building trust? Because people will do business with you when they know you, like you, and trust you. And a lot of times you think it's just easy for you to post a picture and expect that people are just going to throw money at you when you've not even established a connection with us, when we don't know why your heart beats for this good. And in this time where a lot of people are dubious and they hide under all sorts of nonprofits just to scam people, now more than ever is not a time for you to just tell good stories. It's time to take it to the next level, and that's why I'm really highlighting the difference between a good story and a great story. If a nation loses its storyteller, it loses its childhood. Peter Handke. Great story ideas are all around us. Now, this is another practice moment, and it's really about taking a moment to find three everyday stories to tell. Like, you have so much practical work to do. I will skip this because I really want to cover a lot of grounds. So, what is the mindset of master storytellers? Because I feel to be a great storyteller, you must have the mindset, right? Because I believe mindset is everything. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You are what you think. Where you are right now is a product of your thoughts. I'll say that again. Where you are right now is a product of your thoughts. If you're not attracting help, you thought it. If people don't understand what you're doing, it started here. You thought it. I mean, like, everything boils down to what you've thought about. So this is a good time to begin to ask yourself, what have I been thinking? If you think the economy is bad, and the dollar is 710 to the naira is 710 to the dollar, and nobody is going to want to support you, well, that's fine. That's exactly what you're going to get. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you are correct. But let me again, so your mind has to be in the game. And I already kind of shared some insight, because a lot of people, fear being judged when it comes to telling their stories. And I often say, don't share what you're not ready to tell yet, right? Because some people have been hurt. And this is, I mean, I have people who are working in the trauma space who at some point in their lives, went through, like some deep level traumatic stuff, right? I know of someone who was violated at a young age, and she kept the secret for 40 years. 40 years, she blamed herself. She thought it was her fault, but she was a little girl who was violated. And it took time for her to come out. But I can assure you, the moment she found the strength and the courage, and of course she had done the inner work, because hurting people hurt others. And so we don't need you telling your stories because you have heard it's important to tell stories, and you tell your stories from a place of hurt. And instead of your story having an impact, it ends up maybe hurting others. So wisdom has to be applied here. All right, so four different mindsets. Let's go. Number one, the growth mindset. People who have this mindset, they desire to grow and they're always improving themselves. You cannot have a better yesterday. If you are in a nonprofit space, which I believe you are, and in your particular niche, you have not identified at least 2 to 3 global organizations that are doing the work that you are doing, and you're not following them, you're not subscribed to their newsletter, you're not connected with them even via social media, you've not sent them an email to let them know that you are a big fan of their work and you're learning from them, then what are you really doing? Because we have to talk about this growth thing. I get really, I find it funny when I see people who have attained a certain level and then they feel, you know what, I'm good. I don't know if we should really ever stop learning. Like someone said, the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. You must become a lifelong learner. You must never get to a place where you're satisfied. And this is not about being overly ambitious. This is just life. It's nature to desire to grow. It is part of your nature. You're not reading books. You're not paying for courses. You're not, following industry leaders. You're not learning and implementing. I don't know what you're doing. I really don't know. So you have to constantly work on being better than yesterday. So that is the first mindset, right? And this is it, because when you know better, you do better. When you know better, you do better. Simple. Your storytelling skill gets better. You are able to craft better stories and share them in the most powerful way. The dreamer mindset. I love this because they've got the ability to dream and think big. This is where a lot of people shortchange themselves. Stop looking at yourself at the level where you are today. Step into the future of what could be. Like this is me. If there was any other name you could call me, I'm a dreamer. And the beautiful thing is, I just don't dream, I do. A lot of what people are seeing today, a lot of the things people are reading about me, a couple of years ago, they were dreams, they were desires, they were visions. I remember when I got on Periscope and I started saying, why be local when you can be global? Nobody knew me, but I caught a glimpse of that future. I caught it. Before I stepped into it, I saw it. I'm at the point now where there's some dangerous things I'm daring to trust God for. But guess what I'm doing? The same principle. I'm daring to get there first with the eyes of my mind and then come back to present day reality. But guess what happens? The vision becomes so clear that everything in my today has no choice but to align with the picture that it has seen. Are you aware that you are a product of your thoughts? I will say that again, because somehow I believe a lot of people have not attained where they should be because they keep thinking small. They keep thinking, how am I going to change the world with this small nonprofit? Who knows me? How am I going to play at the level of the likes of Bill and Melinda Gates? That's not supposed to be your business right now. If you can actually start dreaming of possibilities, you have to believe that your story, your work has the ability to change our world. I do. And I think you should too. I do. I don't know all about, who is watching this live and who is watching the replay, but I do know and I do believe that your work has the ability to change the world. But do you believe it? Do you believe it? That's where that's where it lies. Because if you don't believe it, then nothing is going to happen. It doesn't matter how amazing you are, even in crafting your stories. If you do not have a dreamer mindset, if you do not believe anything is possible, then whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you are correct. The abundance mindsets. Storytellers who have the abundance mindset are givers. They understand that it's not just about them, but the impact their stories will bring to our world. They believe there's plenty for everyone, more than enough to go around. They're optimists. They're genuinely happy for others when they achieve success. Very important. Take note of all these mindsets because it affects how you show up in the world. Storytelling is not some sort of art that is cut off from who you are. Your personality, everything finds an expression when you tell your stories, right? The positive mindset. Storytellers who have this mindset, they focus on the bright side of life and they expect positive results. I was having a meeting with someone today, and oh my God, she was talking about what everybody's talking about, getting out. Everyone is trying to leave. And she wondered why I was still so calm and still so hopeful. And then she started, telling me about, did you see this video? Did you see that video? Did you see this? And I'm like, no. And she's like, where are you? I mean, I thought you were on social media. I said, well, truth is, there's a scripture that guards my life. And this could be for someone out there who might be feeling the weight of what is happening, because it's very, very hard to stay positive when you constantly feed yourself with negativity. And so that's why I'm giving this very practical example. And she was shocked again that I had not seen a lot of the videos that had gone viral, not because I want to, I don't want to be in touch with reality. The truth is, I've just chosen my own reality. And my own reality is to stay on what God has said. It's to stay on, that part of the Bible that says, against all hope, Abraham believed in hope. And so even when people say, there's a casting down, nothing is working, dollar is naira to dollar is 7.10. I mean, I'm so positive that I am, of course, now expanding my business to nations where I can comfortably, consistently earning dollars. So while we pray for better government, while we, do the needful, get our PVCs and be ready to vote in 2023, while we make the difference that we can, I'm also thinking outside the box. I'm thinking, okay, this is a good time to bring in more of those dollars, right? But it's because I'm thinking positively. And for me to do that, I am not giving room to any negative thought. I don't want to see those videos. And I always say to people, they say, why don't you watch the news? I say, well, somehow I get to know what's happening. But to watch the news, no, I've killed myself. Now, this is me. I'm a creative person. The way my mind functions, I've trained my mind to see pictures, to form images. I talked about the dreamer's mindset. I'm a dreamer. And so when you give me anything, if it's not good, the same way I would cook up a vision and build a skyscraper with it, it's the same thing I can do with negative information. And so I don't want to see it. I could hear it, but I can't see it. Even the hearing, it gets to a point I say, thank you very much. I've heard enough. And this is me guarding my heart with all diligence. That's the scripture. For out of it are the issues of life. Very, very important. I hope you're getting value today, right? So again, it's not about just avoiding or ignoring the bad or negative things that are happening. They're happening. We can't change that. However, we can change how we respond to it. We can choose to look on the bright side. I remember telling her, I said, look, there is hope. Because I know a part of the scripture, I'm a believer, so I give a lot of examples from the Bible. And there's a part of the scripture where there was so much famine in the land that mothers started eating their children. I said to her, we are not there yet, and I know we will not get there. However, there was a place where it got so bad that mothers began to eat their children. Like two mothers had an argument because on day one, they ate one's child, and the next day, the other one refused to bring her child for them to eat. Like, as a mother, I cringe even telling the story. I have 4 children. I don't know the kind of hunger that would make me decide to kill and cook a child to eat. No, we're not there yet. However, a prophet showed up and said, by this time tomorrow. So I hope that just gives someone hope. By this time tomorrow. And somebody said, look, even if God opens the heavens, how will it happen? And the prophet was quick to say, well, you will see it, but you will not partake of it. And that person, if you know the story, was crushed at the gate as soon as the loot was ready. So I'm hopeful, and I do believe that it's not over yet with us as Nigerians. And you can take that to the streets. It's not over yet. A little bit of digression, but I believe it will minister to someone. So people don't fall in love with ideas. They fall in love with how the organization, its services, ideas, and visions make them feel. All right. So more practices. Ella would make sure she gets this to you. Let's look at the importance of visibility when it comes to storytelling. I believe this, no matter what you know and what you're doing, if you're not being seen and heard, it will be as though you never existed in the first place, right? And I think it's important that you leverage one very phenomenal tool that changed my life. And so this is just like a little bit of bonus for you. So I just want to talk very briefly about live videos. I don't think it's enough to tell you about the power of storytelling when I don't give you the B part, which is leveraging such a powerful tool to allow you tell the stories. And I'm talking about no other tool than the live streaming tool, right? According to Forrester research, 1 minute of video is equivalent to 1.8 million words. Live video is changing the way brands interact with their business and with their audiences. And truth be told, many organizations are investing more in live streaming. If you are live streaming, please let me know in the chat box if you're currently using live videos, whether on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on YouTube. Please let me know, because even TikTok, live streaming is everywhere. When I started on Periscope, none of these platforms were existing. The feature was not existing in a lot of this, in any of these platforms. Some of the platforms were not even here. TikTok wasn't here when I started, but they're here now. And there's also the live streaming platform. There's a live streaming feature, rather, right? 91 million subscribers will utilize live streaming by 2024. Please let me know if you are one of them already. So many more statistics here. 82% prefer live videos from a brand to social posts. This is for you. 82% of us prefer live videos from a brand to social posts. So if you just want to hide behind your post, I'm telling you now that we prefer live videos. So you have to find a way to mix it. What do you need? Your smartphone and internet connection. You need the right mindset. You need the value you want to bring to the world. You also perhaps need a ring light if lighting is poor. But during the day, I love to give this hack. Find a window. If you don't have a ring light, find a window and turn your face toward it. It gives you such a beautiful sun kiss that allows you to look good and bright enough for your audience. As someone says, I haven't started. Eminent, you have to start. You have to start using live videos. You have to start. But you might be wondering, okay, there's a lot of people online. How do I stand out from the noise of using live videos? Everybody is online, but everybody else is not you. You need to understand that you are the speck. And I'm not even trying to make you feel extra. You are extra, right? And I want you to put that in the chat box. You are extra. You are the speck. You are special. You're unique. There's no one else out there who has your fingerprint or DNA. You have to understand that. You have a voice. You have a voice. And the world needs it. It doesn't matter if everybody's online. You get online. You show up because we need your voice, right? And in the process, I want you to be consistent. I want you to show up and give value. I want you to leverage the power of asking and listening. People want answers, and perhaps you have the answers, but unless you show up, we will not know, right? Don't ever lose sight of your why, the impact you want to make in your community, nation, and the world. Don't lose sight of it, right? But then you say, oh, there are naysayers. How do I deal with them? Number one, know who you are, know your why, know your goal, your vision, and let it be clear before you. Know who your audience are. Who are you speaking to? What do they need help with? What problems are you solving for them? And as a nonprofit, um, it's important for you to also know the people that you want to fund your vision, right? So have you identified the organizations, both local and global, that have a budget, that have a budget for your nonprofit? Have you identified them? And are you in their radar? Like, are you in their radar? Very important questions you want to ask. People will always have their opinions about what you should be doing, but I want you to give yourself permission first. Stop waiting for others to validate you before you make a move or do anything. So, how do you never run out of content? I'm rushing through this so that I can wrap up. Content is everywhere. You must be intentional about recognizing it, right? Understand again who's your person, what is their pain point, and what is the pleasure that you have to offer. Because if you're trying to speak to everybody, you are speaking to nobody, right? What are your ideal audience losing sleep over? And your ideal audience will fall under, for nonprofits, your ideal audience will fall under those who have the funds to support you, but they don't know where to find you. There are lots of organizations that have a budget for giving back. You know, some call it corporate social responsibility, but they have not identified the organization that is doing the work that they have the funds for. So you need to do this work and show up for them to find you. All right. Okay. So this is very important. So let me just drop this here. When my profile was being read, there was a part where they mentioned a lot of features that I've had over the years, and I'm always very happy to let people know that I didn't get to pay for media attention. Like, they came for me. They came for me. And so you need to understand that you have your own media empire. You don't need to, look for anyone, especially if you are not at the place where you can afford to do PR. I believe in PR. If you can afford it, hire a PR agency to work with you and just blow up your work. If you can, yes, yes, please do it. But if you're not at that place, you can, be your own media empire, right? So whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, I want you to understand that if you build it, they will come for you. I want you to put that in the chat box. If I build it, they will come for me. I've been featured on every major TV station in my country, perhaps on all the leading newspapers, and they came searching for me. That's the truth. They came searching for me to give me free media attention because I built something. I built it, and so they came. So you need to understand the power of this device, your smartphone. This is no longer just a phone. This can be your media empire. This can be the device you use to tell your stories and impact our world. But you have to give value. You have to be strategic. And of course, be careful what you put out on social media. Some people are not being wise. You feel you have to comment everywhere. You feel you have to curse and fight people. Look, the people that have what you're looking for, there's some criteria that they look out for. Let me just leave that there. I'm sure you heard what I said. So be known for something. It makes it easier for you to be discovered. Have a list of media personalities you would love to connect with. Be expectant. Go on LinkedIn, find them, Instagram, Facebook, they're everywhere. Lately, I'm hanging out on LinkedIn and I'm loving it, right? And I'm connecting with some very brilliant people. But it's also fascinating that the moment I connect with them, they check me out and they come back to say, oh my God, you inspire me. And I'm like, God, I thank you. But the truth is, if you position yourself correctly, even the people that you're admiring, guess what? They will be admiring you too. But you've got to be strategic. You can't afford to just post anyhow. Post a blurry picture. Post something that we can't even understand. You can't afford to leave things to chance, right? Expectation is the mother of manifestation. Wow, I wish I could go on and on and on, but when you show up, I want you to do these three things. Be authentic. Be very authentic. It's okay to be vulnerable. I've cried a lot of times when I'm teaching, not because I plan to cry, but I'm very vulnerable. People can connect with me. People can relate with the heart every time, with my heart every time I speak, right? And it's also because I'm human. I try not to, I'm not gonna be Little Miss Perfect. I'm not perfect. And I want people to realize that when they listen to me. And so when you show up, when you tell your stories, be authentic. You don't have to make up statistics. You don't have to lie. I mean, you will get caught really fast and then nobody will trust you, right? So don't lose your integrity because you want to create something sensational. People do it. That's wrong. That's not you. Okay. So be authentic, be vulnerable, and be human. People are not searching for perfection. They want to connect with you. All right. Be sure to survey your audience, ask questions. Don't stop asking. And when they respond, make sure you listen. All right. Okay. So, why storytelling is important, recap and bonus. It helps you build an awareness about your cause or the problem you're here to solve. Storytelling helps to increase your brand awareness. Storytelling can help establish you as a thought leader in your field. It can attract donors, investors, improve your visibility across borders. Oh, I wish I could go into this. I should. I have to. 3 more minutes. Stories you should share. This is so important. Your impact story. Don't assume we know what you want to do in your community. Talk about it. Your challenge story. As long as you live in this world, challenges will come, and it's okay to talk about some of it. Again, vulnerability is powerful. It allows people to connect to the human that you are. Your win story. Tell us about the wins. Tell us about the community, how you met it, what is different now that you're there. We want to know. All right. Your organization's stories are also needed. Share the stories behind your mission and vision statement. Tell us why you do what you do. Share stories of others who are giving back to your community in a helpful way. Share stories that will encourage your audience to take action. Tell the stories of your beneficiaries. Take us through a day in the life of your beneficiary. Did you work with a community? Share that story with us. Tell the stories of your supporters and partners and how they're helping you make a difference in the world. This is so practical. Please come back to the replay and see all the examples here. There's so many more. Share practical ways people can make a difference in their everyday lives. So a lot of times people think, oh, they have to have $1 million for them to make a difference. You know better. So why don't you teach us? It's very rare that you see nonprofits who are actually teaching and giving us value on how we can make a difference. You don't understand that you're leaving a lot on the table, because the moment you start teaching us, first things first, we see you as someone credible. We see you as someone who knows exactly what he's doing. And in so doing, you attract us to support your vision. So I think this is for someone. Start teaching, start teaching, start teaching. Share stories from books and resources you read and highlight their relevance in your journey. Your volunteers also matter. Tell their stories. Who are they? Why have they chosen to work with you? What gives them hope? What are they looking forward to in the future? And how has volunteering changed their lives? They shouldn't be in the shadow. They're part of your work. Tell their stories too. Share stories of your donors. Get an exclusive interview. I don't care if it's 5,000 naira they gave you. They supported your vision. Tell their story. It will surprise you that from you sharing their story, some other person could say, "Oh, I want to do this too." Imagine 100 people seeing that story and realizing he gave 5,000, and 100 of them decide to give 5,000. 500,000. Do the math. All right. Share stories about your future donors, why they should fund you. Share stories about your organization's future fundraising goals and the difference it will make in the communities and the nations that you're working with. All right, your stories matter. Your stories never get old. Don't get too familiar with them and think they are irrelevant because you've shared them. The story that Mary talked about, my story that she said she watched on the TEDx platform, I share that story everywhere. That story has taken me across the world, and it's my story and it never gets old. So don't stop talking about your story. Don't say, "Oh, I've shared it so many times. People are probably tired." Remember the mindset? Exactly, right? Your story never gets old. Be generous in your spirit. Storytelling is a selfless gift. It's not about you, it's about giving something special to someone else. You are the gift that the world has been waiting for. And I think it's time you showed up. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Dr. Naomi. Oh my God. Anyways, let me say I'm not surprised though, because I'm always watching Dr. Naomi's videos on YouTube. See, guys, if you don't want to cheat yourself, just go on YouTube and just type Dr. Naomi, just type her name and her surname. You will see videos you will watch, you'll be tired. Like, you are going to, and they're not just videos, they're like insightful things. Like, you're going to hear things that would spur you to begin to tell your story. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
You. God bless you. Thank you so much. I don't know if you have questions. Can we take just one question? If you have one
Mm,
question, please, just one, because of time, please. And in fact, that one question, it is going to be first come first serve. The first person to drop is our question is what I'm going to read out. Okay, that's what I'm going to read out. So if you have question, just drop it right there, and I'm going to pick it out. I think Ella is in the building now. Ella, are you
issue.
here? Are you here? Can you hear me? Oh, she's gone again. Oh my God.
Oh, dear.
She's told me that it's raining in Rwanda and she's been trying to catch up, but I'm
To
sure she's
connect.
been again. Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Naomi.
Thank
And then when
you.
you
Thank
also
you for
said
having me.
you're going to share your presentation with us, I'm like, oh, Bless our hearts. Bless our hearts. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
You're
Okay, so I'm
welcome.
looking through. Okay, so I see one question. Okay,
Mm.
Ernest says, if you shared a
Yeah.
story supporting your organization show, do you deal with it? Okay, how should you deal
Yeah.
with it?
Yeah, so to be honest, I need to sort of get the details of this story for me to be able to advise. I need to know what story it is and how it's hurting the organization. So, Ernest, if you can actually maybe just DM me, my handle is, Naomi Osemedua. Send me a DM because I really can't say anything until I sort of get the full picture of what story it is and how it's hurting the organization so that I could share ideas on how you can flip things around. So feel free to DM me because I don't think we have enough time, and maybe you're not at liberty to share it publicly. So send me a DM and I will respond. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, so somebody says, please, any resources for storytelling?
Okay.
Mm.
Yes, so I do personally have a course, turning your stories to cash. And what I will do is I will share the link with Ella, and she will get it across to you all. But I do have, and you can actually go to naomiosemedua.com/, store, to actually shop that. Let me see if I can drop the link here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We need it.
Let me see if I can drop the link here. Okay, it's actually the shop. So I'm gonna look for the particular class. So there is on. So I'm just gonna drop the link directly. So I've got classes on live streaming, storytelling. So I'll drop it in the private chat. Then Mary, you can probably drop it
Okay, ma'am.
here.
Okay.
Yeah, so there it is. So naomiosemedua.com/shop. So you'll find courses on storytelling, live streaming, on brand visibility. So just knock yourself out, and they're so affordable, right? So I hope you get to invest. You would get a lot of value, and I definitely look forward to the world celebrating you and the beautiful work that you're doing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ma. I think we you have done enough for us. Thank you so much. So you
Thank
hear
you.
that
Thank you,
you want
Ella.
resources on storytelling, you want to improve your storytelling skills. You don't want to just tell stories, but you want to also earn some money like cash telling stories. Guys, go to that website, naomiosemedua.com/shop. You're going to get the resources you want. Thank you so much, Dr. Naomi. God
Thank
bless
you,
you. We are grateful. Thank
everybody.
you,
Thank
Ma.
you for having me. Thank you,
Okay.
Ella. Bye.